Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. It is Sweetest Dolls, and today, this is kind of like part one of two of my like 1,000 subscriber special things. Like, first off, thank you guys for even getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Never would I have thought that anybody would want to listen to me ramble about dolls and just things I like. Nonetheless, actually subscribe and consistently watch my stuff, so it just means a lot that I'm already here. I've been posting for I think just under 2 years, maybe reaching 3. I honestly don't even remember, to be completely honest, but I just love doing this. I don't really, it's just fun. I just love doing this for fun, and I love that I'm able to connect with so many people and just talk to people about the dolls that I like and the stuff that I have qualms with, as we are doing in today's video. So the second video is going to be a room tour, probably. I don't know when I'm going to film that. I might film that right after this one, but keep a lookout. They'll probably be somewhere close to each other. But today we are doing a video inspired by a Twitter thread by my mutual Spicy Roxy on Twitter, and it is basically a thread of what is something the fandoms of these doll brands are too scared to admit, and it just goes from like LOL, surprise, brats, winks, like all that stuff. And I just wanted to like voice my 2 cents, because I know that, again, take everything I say as just my opinion. Nothing is fact. This is all just for fun. I like being a hater sometimes, so like this is purely just for fun. Like, nothing I say is like meant to be mean towards anybody else. It's just what I feel about these doll brands. And yeah, I'm critical about the ones I like too. Everybody on here except for like one has like multiple points. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it because I don't really want to dilly-dally. But the first brand is Barbie. Um, Barbie will never go back to the way it was. This is just things doll fans are too scared to admit. It'll never go back to the way it was. Barbie is stuck in a rut. It kind of goes with another point that I'm gonna say later on, but Mattel as a company is too controlled and too scared to push Barbie out of their comfort zone now that they've gone into like the 2015 like very safe, Millie, subdued, like everyday boring, this is again my opinion, version of Barbie. So it's just, Barbie's never gonna go back to being the ultra femme. I really don't think they're going back to being the ultra femme, high femme doll that we knew and love. Like 1997 to like 2010, I would say, or like I guess 2014 is when like the fashionista era ended. But like that stretch of years, we're never gonna get that back. It's sad to admit, but that's what everybody thought the Barbie movie was gonna do. I'm a little scared that the Barbie movie is gonna end with Margot Robbie just being like, I can be a boss woman now. And it's like, you can be a boss woman, but you can also be high femme, like this pink gingham look back here. So it's, yeah, it's just hard for me to explain. Like, Barbie's just never gonna go back to the way it was, just plain old. Another thing that they're scared to admit, mediocrity is accepted, encouraged, because the collector's spending the money on multiple products just to make one good product. So again, this is not meant to attack anybody, but a lot of Barbie collectors have to like source other products aside from the main product just so they can get a doll that they kind of like. And if you don't know about this, it's basically like, say there's a really pretty fashionista head. You can get them for like $10, sure, but they don't have articulation. So then you'd want to buy a made to move so you can like pose them and stuff like that, which costs anywhere from like 15 to 20. To resale prices is more, but like if we're talking retail, you're already spending $10 on the fashionista, you're probably spending $20 on the made to move body, and then you have to buy fashion packs. And today I think the Barbie style fashion packs just went up, and those alone were like $25, and the Barbie movie fashion pack that has 3 of them is $50. So like, just to get like one doll that you like, if you don't even like the fashionista outfit, that's almost $100 for just a doll, a playline doll. It's ridiculous. That's like the one thing I can't stand about Barbie, and why I really just can't collect them, is like, I'm fine with no articulation, but it's the fact that like I would need to outsource every single thing so I could get one doll that I like. nonetheless, the other dolls I'm collecting along the way, if I want certain outfit pieces or if I want the body, like, it's just so much waste, and you're just, again, to each their own. I'm gonna say that a lot because I really just don't want anybody to be offended by what I'm saying. Like, it's literally just what I think. And, like, if you're offended, like, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be. I'm just stating my opinion. Um, it's just, like, they've accepted, like, the mediocre quality of Barbie for so long that they're like, it's fine, I can get a pretty head, but then I have to go buy the made to move Barbie body if I want to, like, have articulation and, like, pose them and take photos of them. But then I also need to get a fashion pack because I like that one dress. And it's like, you're adding all these expenses to just make a doll you kind of like, that you can kind of pose and play with. Like, it's just wild to me. And then the last point is Mattel is too controlled and scared to do anything risky. In quotes, I have blame the white corporate greed and from the higher ups, not the designers. So a lot of people blame, like, the Barbie designers, and I really don't think that's it at all. If you guys know who Angel Kent is, they're a Barbie designer. They do a lot of the mermaid Barbies, and they just did the Little Mermaid dolls. They're so incredibly talented. Their art is amazing, and the dolls that they produce are really pretty. Like, I have some of their mermaidy... Is it called mermaidia? Or is it just called, like, fairy, or, like, I don't know. But I have, like, some of those, like, budget mermaid dolls, and I love them. They have poly hair, they have problems, whatever, but I really think, like, aesthetically, they are really gorgeous. But the problem is that they could be so much better if they just got permission from Mattel executives or whoever their bosses are to just have a budget. Like, because I really, like, honestly, I don't know what Barbie's budget is for a lot of those dolls. This also goes hand in hand with, like, Barbie Extra, because Barbie Extra is supposed to rival with the likes of, like, LOMG, Rainbow High, Bratz Now, like, those lines. So, and it's, like, it's supposed to be at that, like, competitive price point, but some of them have poly hair, a lot of them have really, like, messy outfits that are, like, supposed to be trendy, but it's all just due to Mattel being scared to, like, evolve, I guess, is the main point. I don't, like, I truly, I don't know what is holding them back from just, like, giving us good products, because they have capable designers. Like, even though some people might not really like them, Monster High G3, which we will get to Monster High later, but Monster High G3 is really strong for a Mattel brand. They have pretty decent quality. They have cool designs. Like, they actually have makeup on their faces. Like, they have interesting hair. Like, they have capable designers in the Mattel HQ. They just don't utilize them correctly, and that's obviously to no fault of the designers themselves. It's just the fact that these executives and higher ups want to, one, make the products as cheap as they can be, as friendly as they can be, because Barbie's a household name, and they just want them to be boring because they want to fit into, like, the new mold that they put Barbie in. And, like, I'm not saying everything from new Barbie's boring. Obviously, we have the extra dolls, but those are just kind of messy, and at most they're, like, okay. So it's like, they're just so out of touch with what is actually going to succeed, but it's because it's Barbie that they're fine with it. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I don't know, this is literally just, like, a rambling video, so, like, this might just not come out well, but I want to post it. It's a fun video. I'm just having fun. The next brand is Bratz. The first main point is Bratz will continue to have Nylon. There's nothing wrong with that. There's, like, this big, like, vendetta against Nylon, which I don't really understand. Like, I get that Saran is obviously the superior hair type. For me, I love Saran more than I love Nylon. But people being like, they need to get Bratz back Saran. They're not going to custom order Saran for Bratz when none of their other lines use Saran at all. It just doesn't make sense. And also, like, again, why would they just single order it for a brand that isn't, like, even their top priority right now? Although it does seem like Bratz is becoming more important. It's obviously they're not the focal point of MGA right now, so I don't know why they would custom order something. And Nylon isn't a bad hair fiber. Like, sometimes it could be annoying to mess around with, and if you don't know how to treat it right, it can get kind of wild. But let's just be thankful it is not polypropylene because like we could have poly on these dolls. That is a very real and serious fear that we could have that, but we don't because MGA actually cares. MGA actually cares about giving us good quality. So let's just be lucky. Let's just be grateful that we don't have poly on Bratz anymore, or any other doll lines, in fact. But hey, next point is reproduction will continue in the near future. If they keep being successful, they will prioritize repros as long as the Y2K trend is alive and nostalgia is there. I know a lot of people want Playline. I really want Playline. I would prefer Playline over repros because I just think new, fresh designs is really interesting. And with Bratz, that's kind of the entire point. Is the girls with the passion for fashion, so we want to see them in like things that are trendy in 2023, even though a lot of that is probably what they've worn already. So it's like, really, how far could they go with that? But again, I think Bratz is more than capable, and I think MG's designers are more than capable, considering the shift we're seeing in like Rainbow High and what we saw in Mermaids and what we saw in No and all that stuff. So repros aren't a bad thing. Like, there's this whole like weird thing in the Bratz community. At least this is my opinion, this is how I see it, is that a lot of the collectors have like this kind of superiority thing where it's like they have the original doll, so they're immediately better than everybody else that has the repro. Like an example for that is like Wow the West Kiana. I'm lucky, I'm grateful to have the original. I love that doll. But I also have the repro, and I think she's amazing. It doesn't negate the fact that I'm better than somebody else just because I have the original. And like it's just so strange because people place like how much better they are than other collectors based on the like rarity or the pricing or like stuff like that on other dolls. Like you see that a lot in the Facebook groups, and you see that a lot on Instagram sometimes. It's like people will think that like will like pity the people that have to buy the repros. Like that's being shown a lot with Felicia's. People are like, we don't want the repro because then it's going to diminish the value of the original. Wouldn't, like, if you were truly a doll collector and enjoyed the community and wanted people to be happy, you would want people to get the repro. You would want people to have the opportunity to get this really sought after doll that so many people see themselves in. Because most of the time, it's white people saying that, especially when it comes to Felicia. They're like, I don't want my like $500 Felicia doll to go down in price because the repro looks identical to her. Like, that's one of the things that gets me really mad. It's just like, and with Bratz specifically, it's because there are so many like one-off characters that are sought after, like Kiana, Felicia, like Nora, Rhea has a lot of expensive dolls, Sasha, that's another thing. Sasha's are immediately more expensive, and people are just mad that we're getting repros of all these dolls because it's gonna like put down the value of the originals, which it is. Even though people don't really think it is, it is. I mean, I don't know how it's affecting like the really hard to find Bratz dolls, hard to find. The expensive Bratz dolls that people overcharge for, like Kiana and like Felicia, but specifically when it comes to like Girls Night Out, like I've seen a huge decrease in the prices. Like I used to not be able to get one naked for like under like $40, and $40, sorry, I keep tripping up on my words, but I recently saw like a Girls Night Out Yasmin for like 20, and her face was good. So it's like these like repros are helping the like secondhand environment. And if you really care that much about like being superior to others, like the repros are never going to be the originals. Obviously the originals have Saran, these have Nylon, or sometimes the originals have poly. Kina, I think, from Passion for Fashion, like the later wave, sorry. I forgot her name for a second, but it's things like that where it's like they have really bad hair quality, but if they're repro, they'd have Nylon. But people still wouldn't care because it's like, we have the original, so automatically these are better. That just gets me mad. And then the last thing is, Bratz needs a new body sculpt when they do Reboot or a new playline. As much as I do enjoy the original Bratz body, I just think it's really outdated compared to what's on the market right now. Not even getting into like the whole body image thing, I just think like the lack of articulation for the price is annoying. I don't care really. I like having, honestly with Bratz, I kind of like having them like just like straight armed and like bendy legged because it makes clothes easier to put on, and I don't know, I think it looks pretty, but I think in the current climate of like dolls, like especially with like other MGA brands like Rainbow High actually have like curvier bodies than we're used to, with Monster High having a wide variety of like heights, and we're gonna soon get like thicker dolls, like Abby and some other characters. I just think it's important that Bratz kind of follows suit, and also I do think articulation would be nice, because in 2015 we did get the dolls had articulated knees, or yeah, knees, and in 2010 we got the party body, which had full articulation, like in the elbow and the wrist, and they had a chest joint, and they also had the leg articulation. Those bodies aren't the best, but I really like those Bratz bodies compared to the original. My Bratz shelf is right here, that's why I keep like looking over here, but I just think it's important that they kind of follow suit and adapt a new body in some capacity. And also I just think it'll be nicer and make them a more well-rounded product, because like I feel like at this point in time people want to have a doll to pose and play around with. And while Bratz, you can obviously play around with them, it's just like there's a lack of like, I don't know, like creativity, I guess, because it's kind of like you're just walking around like a stick figure because you can't really articulate them. But yeah, so next is Monster High. This one's gonna rattle some feathers. G1 should never have come back. It's only being used as a cash grab and nostalgia bait. Don't attack me, G1 stands, please. Please don't attack me. I don't really like G1 anymore. Ever since G3 came out, they've just kind of turned me off. I just don't really enjoy a lot of them. I literally, this is really funny to admit, I only have 4 in my collection now. The rest I've like given to friends and like traded to friends or sold, so I just don't enjoy G1 compared to G3. And G1 is only being brought back to satisfy, one, the nostalgia bait, because people are like, Monster High is so in right now, so they're gonna get all these like people that don't really know like what good doll quality is and just want a Monster High doll to buy like collector dolls, like just collectors. Like those should not be more than $40 max. I mean, like, again, I don't know how much it is for like paying for the IP and stuff like that, but at most 50. Those are playline dolls. Like, their faces aren't better than G3, their clothes are arguably sometimes worse than G3 quality and just G1 quality. Like, if you're comparing it to G1, they're on par with the dolls that were released then. And if we're counting inflation since then, G1 dolls would only be, I think, like around like 20 to 40 depending on the line now. So, or 30 to 40, sorry. So it's like, why are we paying like $75.90 for these dolls that are just G1 dolls with an IP attached? I don't know. And also, they should have been dead. Like, okay. They, obviously people remember them fondly. Let them remember them fondly. Repros are fun, they're nice, and this is kind of contradicting what I said about Bratz, but I just don't like G1, so like obviously my opinion is going to be different than other people. Some people might not want Bratz Repros, but they might want Monster High Repros, so I don't know. But they're fun, but with Monster High, they're just increasing the prices because people are trying to sell off their reproductions as like the originals, and people are like, look at this limited print, like G1 reproduction from 2022, 2021, whenever they actually released. It was 2022, right? I think. Sorry, time is evading me. But it's like, it's not helping the secondhand market, which obviously I don't think any brand is really trying to do, because people are just going to buy their products regardless. But with Monster High specifically, if they had released the reproductions in like a massive quantity, maybe, whatever, fine. But they were like in and out in like a month, and now they're like some of the most sought after Monster High dolls, which is wild. So I don't know, it's all just a cash grab at the end of the day. I mean, that's what any reproductions are, really. They're just cash grabs. But this is literally just catering to the people that are like, I want to get a Monster High doll because it's trendy Y2K, like a 2010s core, like that's literally what it is. So they just want something that is they remember fondly from their childhood, which isn't a bad thing. But it's just like, instead of doing reproductions, you could put all your time and energy into the new, like, G3 playline that you have, and you can market that better. and you can show that off better and put more quality into that so you don't have poly on your dolls. Just a thought. I went on a little long for that one. Next one is G3 is promising, but Mattel will never see the success of G1 if they don't take risks. This kind of goes hand in hand, but I love G3. I think they are amazing dolls. I think that they are better than G1 in a lot of ways. But their biggest issue is that they're playing it safe a lot of the time. One, it's the marketing. I think it's like it's hard to explain because like they have all the Monster High-isms of G1 with the added like colorful friendliness that new Mattel products have, like Barbie. It's kind of like a melding of those two and like the Monster High way. It's a melding of like G1 and G2 equals G3. Like the base dolls are arguably the best of any Monster High product in the world. It's the clothes, I think that's the problem, is because they have like so many like weird tacky prints that was leading to the downfall of G1. They have like quality. Their designs are pretty basic at times. Like we're seeing it get better with like Iridescent is really nice, like Monster Ball is really cool. The core dolls are really nice. I think the core dolls are like the best of the best for Monster High G3. If you want to get any Monster High G3, get the core dolls. But yeah, I just feel like they're not really taking risks enough, and that was, I feel like, the main grab of Monster High was that they were such like a new and like exciting concept for a doll IP that like they broke the mold and they made so many copies. Like that's the reason why we got Bradzillas, why we got like Mystics, or not Mystics, Novi Stars, zombie fairy tales, whatever that line is. Like again, pointy case, Monster High took risks, it paid off, and I think it would again because there are people collecting G1. So if they bring like the risk taking that they took from G1 and bring it to G3, they'll attract not just the kids that they're catering to, because these are obviously playline dolls that they're catering to a new demographic instead of like the collectors, but they'd also be getting the collectors because like there's people like me that prefer it over G1, and with these tweaks they could be better than G1 and people would love it because they have saran hair, they have really nice, they have arguably better higher quality pieces than G1 ever did. Their like face molds are amazing, their bodies are beautiful, like they just have all the like the promise in the world, and I just want them to succeed so bad because I love them so much. Next one, again, this released my Polygate video. If you guys haven't watched that, that is a doozy. Go watch it, it's really fun. I just get really mad about polypropylene hair for like, I think it's like 30 minutes. It's a long video, but like it's fun, just like yeah. Polypropylene hair is bad. It is bad as bad as people say it is, sorry. We should not have to settle and spend hours fixing hair for it to be manageable when we spend our money on new dolls. I don't really know if I touched on that in my Polygate video, but like, that should be a given. Like, when you get a new doll, you don't want to have to spend like 2 to 3 hours like making their hair manageable just so you can make it look presentable. Especially when we have other dolls in the same exact line, in the core line, with like saran hair that is like a beautiful quality, and you don't even have to wash it out of the box. You brush it maybe with like, you wet brush it, and it's fine. But like, no, they just had to make core quality the absolute like worst hair imaginable. Mine has like a bob because I couldn't deal with it. I don't have like a straightening iron. I don't have any like heat tools that I can use, and I shouldn't have to use that on my doll. I paid $25 plus tax. I should not have to use any sort of heat tools to make my doll's hair manageable. And even then, it's still poly. It's still gonna disintegrate. It's still gonna get really bad over time. So it's like, we're doing this just for the short term, and it's like, we wanna have dolls that'll last us. We wanna have dolls that'll look good on display or we can play with. You can't do that with dolls with poly hair. It's just bad. There's like nothing that you can do to make it good. So it's just infuriating. It's just like a little infuriating, if I had to be honest. I need to start going through this. This video is getting long. I apologize. and there are quite a few. I'm not gonna go in depth for some of these just because I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory, but my scene in the next one, they're never coming back. They're never coming back. They were just a rival to Bratz. That's all they were ever made to be. Their pitch was literally kill Bratz. So, again, they were used to harp on the success of Bratz and be its competition. We're nothing more and nothing less. This one's gonna get some people mad probably. Bling Bling has the best faces, but Early Mycene has the best clothes. I just feel like Bling Bling encapsulates like what Bratz really did with their faces, which was like the really like gorgeous dramatic faces and like high fashion makeup with like the sultry vibe. I don't know how to explain it properly, but like Early Mycene was like very cutesy because it was like an extension of Barbie, and that's how it was marketed as, like a side brand to Barbie. So it still had to like be child friendly, I guess, when Bratz was more for the tweens and teens. And yeah, and I mean, Early Mycene has better clothes. As Mycene got to Bling Bling, they stopped caring about the quality of the clothes, and it's more of just like mini dresses and like basic stuff. And Early Mycene has like the Y2K thing that everybody loves and everybody thinks Mycene had throughout the entire run, but really they didn't. So yeah, those are my only things for Mycene. I love Mycene, but they're, yeah. Ever After High is the next one. I feel like this is gonna be pretty common because I feel like everybody has like the same problems with EAH. But their face molds are insanely uncanny and they make most of the dolls look horrible. They just have pancake faces. They don't really have any defined features, which was a very like weird contrast for Monster High because Monster High had like some of the most like intricate designed faces and face molds and like screenings when Ever After High is just like pancake face. It's like a flat face just with the decals on it, and it's like everybody looks the same except for like Cedar and stuff like that. They sometimes had the odd one out where they gave them like cool faces, which is like Cedar. I think Cedar is literally the only one that got a different face mold because of the wood, but correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. They have very concerning diversity issues. This could be an entire video, but I don't really think I'm the one to talk about it, but they only started introducing the POC characters until the very end. So, and Cedar does count, but also she's made of wood. So, yeah. I love Ever After High. I think it's some of the best doll media out there, and dolls are really pretty, and I think the designs are very strong. Diversity was ass, though, especially compared to Monster High again and other, because Barbie was, like, the diverse doll line, and it's, like, trying to compete with other doll lines, it's, like, just white people. That's, like, it's wild. The designs were all just like extremely good and got extremely hurt when brought to the dolls. I feel like this is also pretty like a common consensus. Sorry, I keep messing up my words. But the designs were just like so intricate and beautiful that like when it got to the dolls, it just made them look really, really cheap, which is upsetting because I do think like Ever After High has some of the best like fairy tale designs. It's just they got nerfed so hard when going to Playline, and like that's no fault of their own. Like Mattel obviously had to, not obviously, but Mattel chose to make them cheaper because they're a greedy company. But yeah, they're also never coming back unless they agree to do a collaboration with Disney. The entire reason why Mattel lost the Disney license in the first place was because of Ever After High, and they have it back now in 2023, so I really don't think Ever After High is ever going to come back unless they do like a Collector Series type thing where they like partner with Disney, but it seems like Disney's getting their own like collector line in Mattel anyways with like Disney sculpts, so I really don't think Ever After High is coming back. Like I think their book is dead and gone. So Rainbow High, this one might ruffle some feathers too because I know a lot of people are on the Rainbow High train still. I love them. I'm growing out of them a little bit. I will be honest. I personally think they're past their prime. They reached their peak. I don't really want to talk about leaks because, like, I'm not going to show them on screen because I don't want anything to get taken down. But if you've seen the leaks from the past few days from that toy fair, I don't really know where it was, but you can tell there's a pretty big shift happening in the design and, like, the focus of Rainbow High, and that could be because of a different line that MJ is coming out with soon that I may know something about, that I can't really talk about. But if you've seen it on the leaked dolls that we saw from that toy fair thing. And it's just interesting because it seems like they're focusing less on the high fashion and more on the gimmicks, as we can see with like the runway dolls, the like height dolls, like the 3 dolls that have different heights, which abysmal. I hate them. I do not like those dolls. I think the heights are cool, but you cannot rely on that as a gimmick. Are you kidding me? Especially with G3. Like, considering those are probably the 2 most like collected lines right now, you cannot. Like, it's just wild to me. But yeah, I feel like they're just focusing on gimmicks now. That was my other point, was the reboot is most likely in the works. I think that they're gonna do a soft reboot, especially after like Shadow High. Like, if you've seen any of the recent commercials, it's all like very friendly and glittery and fun and like cutesy, and it's like they kind of just stopped the entire rivalry with like Shadow High and Rainbow High. So it's like there's a clear shift going on. And we were slowly seeing it with the ads, and now we're slowly seeing it with the designs, and then we're gonna see like a whoop, like a certain someone got a fucking promotion again. I just cursed. Oh god. I'm probably gonna keep that in. I don't care. But a certain someone on MJ's team may or may not have gotten a promotion again because their designs look a little too much like Series 1 for my liking. So yeah. And the next point is high quality pieces, but they're all extremely ugly enough or style enough. This also goes in hand with the leaks. Rainbow High has some of the highest quality doll pieces, but that does not make them good dolls, nor does it make their outfit pieces actually good. They can be made out of the realist leather, they can be made out of the realist faux fur, they can be made out of the realist faux leather, that's what I meant to say. They can be made out of, like, they could have embroidery everywhere. That doesn't mean they're gonna look good. Like, these dolls back here, 2 of them are redressed, ignore them. Those 2. But, like, these 2 are some of the, in my opinion, some of the strongest designs that we've gone from Rainbow High. And now we're going just right back to where Series 1 was, which is concerning at most, terrifying at least, terrifying at most. That didn't make any sense. But point is, I'm scared for the future of Rainbow High, because the whole thing was that they were like high fashion and they were high quality, and we were actually starting to get really good versatile pieces, like specifically with Shadow High Series 2, some of the best designs in any Playline dolls that we've seen in the past decade. And now Series 3 is, like, very concerning, in my opinion. But, yeah. The next one is LOMG. I only have 1 point for this because I really don't think LOMG is doing that much wrong. I just think that they need, like, a soft reboot. They desperately need altered face molds, emotions, and the faces. We're kind of getting that with the... Well, not really, but the surprise swap dolls, I think, would have been a good place to do this, like, reboot or soft reboot. Is, like, introducing... not only, like, the tweens with the head swapping gimmick, but, like, introducing, like, different face molds and, like, bringing in the fierce face mold for the OMG dolls and having that be an alternate face for, like, OMG head swaps or surprise swap, like, the head games type gimmick that they took from Bratz. Like, I just think that, like, this would have been such a good point to, like, make a change, because I think the makeup is actually really interesting. Another problem of mine is just, like, OMG faces are just so samey that, like, I just get bored. No matter, like, how different the makeup can be, it's, like, they're all the same. And that's why I like tweens, is because I think they do, like, a lot of interesting makeup, and they have a different face mold. And they're doing the head games thing, where they don't have different head molds, per se, but they're introducing new things to the paint. Like, they're giving them really cool makeup, but they're also giving them, like... kind of like the same thing that Monster High G3 is doing, where they have, like, the really stylized, eyes, where, like, Twyla specifically, I think, has, like, a button in her, like, in the white part of her eye. Like, they're doing that type of stuff. Like, they have hearts, they have triangles, or not triangles, they have, like, diamonds and stuff like that. Like, it's really cool, and I like what they're doing, but I do think it's not different enough, and OMG has some of the best designers, and I think those designers are actually going to that, secret MJ line that's being worked on, or has been being worked on, and that's why we're kind of seeing a dip in, like, quality of design and stuff like that, and just, like, all of the MGA brands, and yeah, I just feel like they need, like, a soft reboot, because the designs are there, especially with the new series of OMG dolls, like the core dolls. Amazing. Those are really cool, like, really, really good. They just need different faces, in my opinion. Wings Club. None of those are good enough to warrant the high secondhand prices. Explanatory. Why are you selling a Glad Magic Musa for, like, $1,000 when she's in, like, horrible condition? Like, It's a Playline doll. There are plenty of them. They clearanced out at many a store. I'm not going to get too much into that because I'm not a Wings collector myself, but it's just wild to me seeing that. This is literally just about Glam Magic is extremely overrated. It should not be bought or sold for anything more than $50 max. That might be a little contentious for some people because I from what I've seen of them, they look like they're pretty good quality, but I just do not see why they're being sold for at the least $100. Wait, the Wings dolls are like small, and they look flimsy. Like I have some of them, and I like them. Like the Mattel Wings dolls are nice. Why do they cost that much? Like I don't get it. Mermaids. They're dead. Rip. Mermaids fans, including me, no matter how delusional we are, they are dead. I don't think they're ever coming back. My poor babies. I love them. I love them though. And then the second thing is actually like, I can be critical of my favorite lines, C. Their tails, waist articulation are one of the biggest flaws, and I feel like it hindered their enjoyment for kids and just people in general. Their tails are hollow. I feel like I'm gonna break them if I drop them. They kind of fixed that with Winter Waves, but I also feel like I would break those because they have the snow globe effect. But though like they can't even sit properly. None of them can sit properly. The Winter Waves all sit worse because they have again the clear tail thing. If they had just like given them like a sturdier tail that had like a knee articulation, like a fin articulation maybe, perfect. Literally would have been my favorite dolls of all time probably. And they are one of my favorite dolls of all time. But I do think the articulation was so good on like the upper half that like the bottom half was just so stiff and like it was just like a little concerning. So, I don't, while Loopsy was on this thread, I don't really know that many people that are all Loopsy fans. Like, I like all Loopsy quite enough, but I don't know anybody that's like a die-hard fan that would get mad over something like this. But, their comeback failed miserably, and they're never coming back again. They did have like a comeback in like, I think it was it 2019 or 2020? Where they had like the big dolls come back, and then they had the minis, and they had some of the other stuff. Did not do good. They were sitting on shelves for so long. They didn't even clearance out at most places. They were just like on shelves for so long, and then when they did clearance out, they were gone. So, I wouldn't expect a Loopsy Girls reboot anytime soon. I would like a Loopsy Girls reboot because I do really like those dolls, but they failed miserably, and it's sad because they are really good dolls, but I just feel like there was no hype for them. Unless there was hype and I just didn't see it. But, like, I feel like they just kind of came out of nowhere with that one. So, I don't know. And then the last one is My Little Pony. I don't really collect My Little Pony. I have two G3 ponies that I really like. And then I have some of the 4.5. Is that what those are called? 3.5? I don't know. But it's like the reboot between G5 and G4. Whatever that is called. Obviously it wouldn't be G3.5, idiot. Sorry. No generation will ever garner the same success as G4. Friendship is Magic was just like kind of legendary in the way that it dominated both the kid space and like the adult space. I don't think anything is ever gonna garner that type of hype from Hasbro My Little Pony ever again, which is sad, but I feel like this is kind of true, and I feel like that's why they're still pushing out G4 content and like dolls and like stuff, because like it's kind of their only moneymaker from what I've seen. G5 will probably end sooner than we think. I don't really know, like, again, I don't know any of the sales of anything, but it doesn't seem like they're doing great, because I see them fully stocked everywhere, and if stuff goes on sale, like, it just stays on sale, like, it's not looking good for the girls and the ponies, so, I don't know. And there were Equestria Girl, like, doll leaks for G5, just, I want to preface that, I obviously can't show them, I don't even know, I don't think they were supposed to get out, but they were seen by the public. The Equestria Girls thing for G5 could make or break G5 and either lead them to the rise or the steep downfall of the brand at this point. I think Equestria Girls for G4 was such a good concept, and I think the movies were bangers, like, so good, but the doll execution was horrible. And what I've seen from these dolls, they are very strong, but if they get, nerfed in any type of way from their prototype, I feel like it's just gonna be bad. Like, if they have bad hair quality, if they have, like, really bad clothing quality, if they don't have good articulation, it's not going to, like, bring in the attention of collectors, of kids, of anybody, because it's, like, they're just, like, another doll on the market. And while fantasy dolls are kind of becoming the in again with Monster High coming back, we're seeing a lot more fantasy stuff, which is what we might be seeing from MGA. But like we're seeing like the Magic Mixies Pixie dolls, which are really cool, and I'm very excited for those. We're seeing obviously Monster High. What other doll lines? I feel like there's other stuff that I forgot. But point in case, fantasy dolls are in. So these could really do well, especially in the new climate. But I just fear. I fear for My Little Pony, because if this does not well, I feel like G5 is going to end like really fast. And then I don't really know where they're going to go from there, because I feel like if they try to do a G6, they would have to like bring back the G4 like ponies again. Like they tried to do that in G5, but it didn't do, like, it's just going to be a mess. And that's it. This was a long video. I apologize, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you disagree with me, I guess. Don't fight. We are not here to fight. This was just fun, silly, goofy, ha ha ha, giggle giggle. Like, I'm just here to have a good time and like voice my opinions. And yeah, this was a fun video. I mean, I know that like these type of threads and stuff like that like are pretty like unnecessary and just cause a lot of like chaos in the doll community, but I think it's fun to like talk about them and just like discuss our like opinions, because like truthfully, if you're getting mad at somebody critiquing your favorite doll line, you're probably like, you probably can't take critique well. And I'm saying that as a mermaids enjoyer, because like everybody hates the dolls except for me and like 10 other people. So I don't know. But if you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers again. It means a lot to me. I truthfully cannot explain how much it means to me. Yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next video, and see you then.